What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ace here, back with another YouTube video. Today I have another waiver wire streamers fantasy basketball video for you guys today. Remember, all my videos are for points leagues, so if you're in a different scoring format than that, this information may not be as important to you as it is for points leagues, because it's intended for points leagues. Anyway, let's talk about yesterday's video, our Halloween video. We talked about some fine streamers for yesterday. There was only a 4-game slate yesterday, so there were not many options to choose from, but we actually did very, very well on our waiver wire pickups, streamer-wise. So a streamer, basically, if you don't know what a streamer is, a streamer in fantasy basketball is somebody that you just like pick up for the day and then you drop them for another player the next day. Like somebody, if you just need a guy that plays today, go ahead and pick this guy up, play him, and then you could drop him the next day. You know, somebody that you don't necessarily keep on your roster for a long time. For some of these guys, I told you guys you could keep these guys for a long time. Like Santi Aldama, Scottie Pippen Jr. I said pick them up if they're on your waiver wire for whatever reason, which they should not be. If they're on your waiver wire, pick them up and keep them until Desmond Bane comes back, or keep them until you see their minutes go down, because these guys, specifically those two, could play a pretty decent role for the foreseeable future, not just a streamer. So I clarified which ones were streamers, which ones you could keep for a certain amount of time. But anyway, yeah. Remember, guys, also with this information, it depends on how many people are in your league. It depends on your scoring system. It depends if it's like a 12-man league, because if you're, like I always say, if you're in an 8-man league, most of these guys you shouldn't need to pick up, because they're going to be way better options in 8-man league. These videos are intended for leagues that are like 12-man leagues, or leagues that have like 150 or more players rostered across the whole league. So like 12-man leagues, 14-man leagues, some 10-man leagues, you could use some of these streamers, as long as you're not dropping anybody that's better than them. And remember, guys, if you guys have ever have any specific questions, like one-for-one questions, like should I drop Dylan Brooks for Santi Aldama, or should I drop DeAndre Hunter for Scottie Pippen Jr.? If you ever have a specific one-on-one question like that, or like any specific waiver questions, go ahead and comment them down below. I'll try to see them as soon as I can. I am a college student, so I don't have I'm not gonna be able to see it every single comment as fast as I can, but I'm gonna try. So if you have any specific questions like that, go ahead, comment them down below right now. I'll try to see it as soon as I can. But anyway, let's get into the recap of yesterday's waivers very, very quickly. For the Memphis and the Milwaukee game, I talked about getting Santi Aldama. Let me go ahead and just pull up the slate for yesterday's games real quick. These were the games that happened today. I talked about getting Santi Aldama. He was 44.7% rostered in leagues when I talked about him yesterday. We talked about him like 2 days ago, actually. So you should have had him. But if you're new to the channel, welcome in. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys want more fantasy basketball videos, because I love basketball. I love fantasy basketball. So I'm gonna be giving out videos like this. Very, very key information for if you guys want to win your leagues and make the right waiver decision. So stay tuned, turn on those post notifications, subscribe. But anyway, yeah, I've been saying to pick up Santi Aldama, and I've been saying to pick up Scottie Pippen Jr., so you should have had them. But if you didn't, this was another opportunity to stream them, and they hit. Santi Aldama, he dropped 31 points in points league, so that's very, very solid, especially for a waiver pickup. Scottie Pippen Jr., on the other hand, he only had 22. He actually had a very, very good, like, in real life game. He had 16 points in real life. So you would have thought he would have had more fantasy points, but unfortunately he only had 22. But I mean, that's not bad for a streamer. But I would still keep these guys until you see their minutes go down. Desmond Bane is hurt, like I said he would be, and Marcus Smart's also hurt. I said that both of those guys would be out for this game, and they ended up both being out. So we called that. Yeah, I'd keep those guys on your roster. Torian Prince was a deeper league ad. He's only rostered in 5% of leagues. He dropped 24. That's not bad at all for a deeper league. And then Gary Trent Jr. was a deeper league as well. He only had 11. So that was a weak performance from him. He had a ton of open threes, but he just missed them all. Jake LaRavia, he was only rostered in 1% of leagues. I said he was a deep pickup. He dropped 32 yesterday. So I would suggest picking him up as well if you want to keep him for the short term, because he played a very good game. And then Jalen Wells was one of our best pickups suggestions of yesterday's video. He was only rostered in 0.2% of leagues. I said, if you're in a very, very deep league, you could pick him up and just stream him today. He actually started in place of Desmond Bane. He had 27 points, so that was a very good performance from him. In the Houston-Dallas game, We only had one deep league ad, and it was Tari Eason. He was only rostered in 3.3% of leagues. He had 29 fantasy points, so very good performance from him. He had the third most fantasy points on the Rockets yesterday, and he was averaging only 21 a game beforehand. So 29, very, very good production from him. In that Spurs and Utah game, we only had Julian Champagnie. He was only rostered in 8% of leagues. He had 27, so very good from him. On the Utah side of things, we only had two ads for deep leagues. Cody Williams, he absolutely played like shit. He only had 3, and then Filipowski had 19, so that's not bad for like a very, very deep league, like we said. But Cody Williams played like shit. Phoenix in the Clippers game, we talked about Royce O'Neal. We also talked about how Bradley Beal was questionable. I thought Bradley Beal would play, but I said if Bradley Beal's ruled out, definitely pick up Royce O'Neal. He was only rostered in 5% of leagues. He dropped 49 points yesterday. I want to see how many leagues he's in. He's rostered in now because he's literally just 5% yesterday. Now it's 7%. It'll probably be even more by today. So yeah, that was the best pickup of the day. And then Derrick Jones Jr. He was rostered in 7% of leagues. He dropped almost 30, 29 points. Very, very good waiver wire video yesterday. Very good content. They did very well, so hopefully we can get the same today. We have way more games today. So let's go ahead and dive right into this the fantasy pickups. I'm gonna try to be very, very quick with this video because already 7 minutes in. But anyway, let's look at the first game. A waiver wire pickup that I like from this game is going to be Peyton Pritchard. Obvious. I don't if he's on your waivers. I was surprised. I thought he'd be rostered in like 40% of leagues. He's only rostered in 24.6% of leagues. So if he's on your waivers for whatever reason and you're in like a 10-man, 12-man league, he should not be on your waivers. He's averaging 25 fantasy points per game. He's coming off a 39-minute game that went to overtime against Indiana. Peyton Pritchard has seen great usage off the bench this season. He's also seeing great minutes as well. He's averaging 16 points per game. Like I said, this guy should not be on your waivers at all. You should keep him until further notice. This is a guy that you could pick up and not only stream today, but you could probably keep him for until further notice. Like I said, he also plays a back-to-back. So he plays today, Friday, and he also plays tomorrow, Saturday, against this same Hornets team. So that's good value as well. If you don't want to waste your matchup acquisitions, he plays today and tomorrow. So very good pickup. And then another guy in this league, or in this game, I should say, is a guy that we already talked about picking him up 2 days ago. Nick Richards. I told you guys to pick him up. I talked about him in my waiver wire pickup video 2 days ago when he was only rostered in 12.9% of leagues. Now he's rostered in 28.9% of leagues. So he's more than double. He's rostered in more than double the amount of when I told you guys to pick him up. And before I told you guys to pick him up, after I told you guys to pick him up, he played the Raptors and he dropped a 24-point double-double. Don't expect those same results against this Boston Celtics team. Obviously, Boston Celtics, arguably the best team in the league again. Tough opponent, so I would still pick Nick Richards up until Mark Williams comes back. When Mark Williams comes back, you can get rid of him. But if you have room on your roster for a waiver guy and it's Nick Richards, I would pick him up and I would keep him until Mark Williams comes back. Just like Pritchard, he plays today and tomorrow, so that's important as well. In deep leagues, if you're in a very deep league and you want somebody from this game, Cody Martin, maybe Grant Williams, Josh Green, just be aware that Brandon Miller has not played for the past few games. He is a game time decision today. So if he plays, Cody Martin, Grant Williams, Josh Green, they should all see reduction in volume. But those are for very, very deep league. Anyway, let's get into the next game. The next game is going to be this Magic versus Cavaliers game. Not too many pickups in this game. One guy I do like as a pickup and actually keep him until for a few games is going to be Anthony Black. So Paulo Banchero, Magic, their best player, he's out and he's going to be examined again in 4 to 6 weeks. So that's a very, very big blow to this Magic team, their best player. So Anthony Black, he should see some extended minutes. He doesn't play the same position as Paulo, but he is one of the best players off the bench for this Orlando Magic team. So I'm expecting him to get a few more minutes than he already did beforehand. Black's averaging 22.14 fantasy points per game this season, and he's looked solid as a player in real life. So he's produced pretty decently. He's also going to get you 3 boards a game, 4 assists a game, and he could see some extended usage with this Paulo injury. I would pick him up and I'd keep him on your roster for a few games just to see how many minutes he gets. Because look at these minutes, 26, 20, 31, 23. So I would pick him up. He's averaging almost 26 minutes per game this year. I'd pick him up, see if he gets to like 30 minutes, 28 minutes. We don't know how the minutes will be dispersed now with Paulo injured. So he's somebody that you could pick up. He's only rostered in 4.5% of leagues, which is very, very low to me, especially for a guy like he's already produced decently well. So he was already producing before this Paulo injury. Now with the Paulo injury, you might see even more minutes, even more production. So I would definitely pick him up and keep your eye on him for a few days and see how his minutes are like. Deep leagues, for this game is going to be Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome's averaging 21 fantasy points per game this year in points leagues. He does not see that many minutes, so his production will probably go down. That won't be sustainable because he only plays like 15 minutes. But if you're in a deep league and there are no better options, it's not a bad option to pick up and just play him for today. Ty Jerome. In this New York and Detroit Pistons game, I don't really like anybody in this game. If you're in a very, very deep league and need somebody to stream today, Isaiah Stewart, Tim Hardaway, Malik Beasley, those guys pop out to me, but I'd probably rather play Ty Jerome if you're in a very deep league. If you're in a very deep league, I'd probably rather play some of these guys that I'm about to talk about next. Sacramento versus Atlanta is the next game, and this guy is going to be a guy that you'll probably pick up and stream him in a 10 team league, 12 team league. It's going to be Kevin Huerter. So he's rostered in 18.7% of leagues. He's averaging 23.10 fantasy points per game. He had a very bad season opener, as you can see right here in his first game of the year. He only had 2 points, but since then, in his 3 games since that season opener, he's looked very good. He's had 14 or more points in those 3 games since that season opener, as you can see right here. 14, 18, and 14. So he has looked very good since then. He's playing the Atlanta Hawks. So Kevin Huerter, he's a 3-point specialist, right? The Hawks have allowed the most 3-pointers made per game to opposing teams. So this is a very good matchup for Kevin Huerter's bag, which is that 3-point line. He's a 3-point specialist. He's playing the team that's allowed the most 3-pointers per game. So he should see some very quality looks from the 3-point line. He is a great streamer for today. If you guys need somebody just that plays today, and that's it. So plays today, you could probably drop him after unless he goes off. But yeah, a guy in a deeper league that I kind of like for the foreseeable future until the Hawks get healthy is David Roddy, man. Hawks are just obliterated with injuries right now. Bogdanovich is injured. Dyson Daniels is injured and out. DeAndre Hunter is injured and out. Okongwu was just injured. I think he's active now, but he was just injured as well. But those are 3 key guys that the Hawks played. Bogdanovich was not a starter. He was a 6-man. But he still played heavy minutes. DeAndre Hunter was a starter, and Dyson Daniels was a starter. So with all those injuries, Atlanta Hawks were forced to play David Roddy 32 minutes last game. He played 32 minutes, and he produced in those 32 minutes. He had 17 points, 2 steals, 4 rebounds. So this is not a bad guy to have in a deeper league. He's only rostered in 1.6% of leagues. Bogdanovich is still out. DeAndre Hunter is still out. Dyson Daniels is still out. So until those guys come back, until one of those guys comes back, I would pick up David Roddy if you're in a very deep league, and I would see how it goes because he had 32 minutes. That's something that you're not going to see on your waivers that often if you're in a very, very deep league. So I'd pick him up, play him today, and see how he goes in the future. Next game is going to be the Bulls and the Nets game. There are not many ads in this game. I would say if you're in a very deep league, Dorian Finney-Smith is not a bad streamer for today. Zaire Williams as well is not a bad streamer for today. Those guys don't have any long-term value in my opinion. They would need an injury to have some long-term value, so I'd probably just stream them today and then drop them if you need them. I need a guy that plays today, but that's about it. In this Lakers and Toronto Raptors game, there's somebody that is rostered in a decent amount of leagues, but not rostered enough at all, in my opinion. It's going to be Grady Dick. So he's only rostered in 22% of leagues. This guy should not be on your waivers. If you're in like a 10-man league or a 12-man league, this guy should not be on your waivers. He's averaging 26 fantasy points per game this year. And with Scotty Barnes and Quickly being injured, he's seen a boost in usage. He has seen heavy minutes. He has 30-plus minutes in 3 straight games, and he's seen 36 or more minutes in back-to-back games, as you can see here. 37 minutes against the Nuggets and 36 minutes against the Hornets. So that's very, very high minutes, especially for a waiver wire player. He's averaging 19 points per game, which will probably not be sustainable at all, especially when Scotty Barnes or Emmanuel Quickly comes back. But until then, I would pick him up, reap the benefits until then, and just stream him until Quickly comes back. And if Quickly comes back, I'd probably still keep Grady Dick. If you're in like a 12-man league, I'd probably still keep him because he's still going to get like 30 minutes even with Quickly. But when Scotty and Quickly come back, there'll probably be better options. But until then, pick this guy up if he's on your waivers. He should not be on your waivers. He also plays a back-to-back. He plays today against the Lakers, and then he also plays again tomorrow against the Kings. So that's very, very important when we're talking about streamers because most leagues have matchup acquisitions where you can only pick up a certain amount of guys during the week. He plays today and he plays tomorrow. So you won't have to worry about another streamer until Sunday. So that's very, very good value. Grady Dick should not be on your waivers at all. Plays back-to-back as well. If you're looking for a very, very deep league ad for this game, Agbaji's not bad. Mogbo, I believe his name is Jonathan Mogbo. He's not a bad deeper league streamer for today. And Davion Mitchell as well. Those are 3 guys on the Raptors that are not bad deep league streamers at all. In this Pacers and this Pelicans game, one guy that I already talked about a few days ago is Jordan Hawkins. I'm not going to talk about him that much anymore, but this guy should not be on your waivers if you're in a 12-man league. He just had 39 minutes last game. So with DeJounte Murray injured, this guy's going to see a ton of minutes. The one thing about him is he is questionable for today's game. He apparently has lower back spasms. They said he had this before last game, and then he played 40 minutes. So, I mean, he's probably going to play, but just be weary of that just in case you pick him up. I would be cautious before you pick him up. Just make sure that he's playing because you never know, right? He is questionable. If you're in a very deep league, somebody that is a solid streamer in this game is going to be Obi Toppin. Not bad, but if you're in a very deep league, this Nuggets and Wolves game, I don't think anybody is really streamable at all in this game, so I'm just gonna fade that game. And then Thunder and Blazers, nobody as well in this game. Somebody, if you're in a very deep league, is going to be Tumani Kamara. 3.6% rostered. He's not that rostered, but he played 40 minutes last game, and he's a very good defensive player. He's gonna get you like a steal or two a game. Um, 40 minutes is absolutely insane. So this isn't a bad streamer just for today if you're in a very deep league. But yeah, those are going to be the waivers for today. My favorite waiver pickups in general are going to be Grady Dick. I think you could pick him up. He plays a back-to-back today and tomorrow. You could pick him up, play him today and tomorrow, and I would still keep him until his minutes go down because even when Quickly comes back, Scotty Barnes is out 3 to 4 weeks, I believe. So Quickly will probably come back in the next few days, probably next week. When Quickly comes back, Grady Dick will probably still get 30 minutes. So I would keep Grady Dick for like, he's on your waivers. You're in like a 10 or 12 man league. I would keep him until Scotty Barnes comes back. And even when Scotty Barnes comes back, there might not be any better options. So he's somebody that I would keep for a long term. That's a very good pickup in my opinion. My second favorite pickup for today is going to be probably, if we're talking strictly just for today, it'll probably be Kevin Huerter. He has a great matchup. He's played very well in the last 3 games. Very good matchup against the Hawks. If you're just looking for a streamer today, not necessarily long-term value, but just specifically for today, I think he's going to be my second favorite pickup, Kevin Huerter. And then Anthony Black, somebody that you could pick up and see how his minutes are without Paulo. And then Peyton Pritchard, obviously Nick Richards. But yeah, those are going to be my waiver wire pickups for today. I'm sorry this was a very long video, but I had to talk about the recap for yesterday. Very good waiver wire pickups yesterday. I'm really happy about that. And yeah, hopefully today we get some good production from those guys that I talked about. But anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. It's 3:25 a.m. So I'm tired of shit, but we gotta grind. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Hopefully, if you guys have any questions, like I said, if you have any specific fantasy questions, should I drop this guy for this guy? Should I drop this guy for that guy? Go ahead and comment them down below. Leave a comment. I'll try to get to it as fast as I can right when I see it. But anyway, catch you on the next video. Peace.